Booster boxes from the Sword and Shield and Scarlet Violet era are absolutely skyrocketing. Are these prices sustainable for 2025? Let's find out. Hey everyone, this is Rich from Rich Pokebets. I hope you all are doing well. I'm a little sick. I've basically been sick the whole month of December. So sorry for the congestion or sniffiness, but hopefully I can get back on the video grind after that. And if you're new to the channel, again, my name is Rich from Rich Pokebets. I'm a data analyst, data manager by day, Pokemon fan at night. And so I use my love of data and Pokemon, mix them all together, and that's where this channel came to be. So if you do like the stuff that I post, make sure to subscribe. Yeah, I wanted to create a tier list of trying to figure out where I think booster box prices are going to be at the end of 2025. And so if you have not paid attention to prices recently, we've seen probably 30, 40, 50% growth in just like the last 3 months of almost every booster box from the Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet era. Evolving Skies finally eclipsed $1,000. We're seeing less and less booster boxes be at below $200, which is absolutely crazy to think about. And Paldea Evolved itself is almost at that $200 mark. So I wanted to make this video to give you an idea of where I think projections are going to go for these sets, as well as see how many can I get right by the end of the year. And this time next year, I can review that myself. All right, so for this video, we're just gonna be looking at the main series sets that have a booster box. So we're not gonna see anything from like 151, Paldean Fates, Crown Zenith, anything like that. So let's just go ahead and get started. To me, the number one obvious choice for below $200 is Scarlet and Violet base. This set has received a reprint and probably won't receive another one, but just because the cards in there aren't super expensive, although we are seeing like the Drowsy increase by quite a lot, I just don't see this set actually taking off above 200. And this is honestly going to be one of the only ones I don't see, mainly because it just is probably the least popular set of the Scarlet and Violet era. Like I said, there's some good cards in there, but we are already seeing quite a lot of growth with this box being around $130+. A year ago, it was at 80. And so it's basically almost 100% increased. I just can't see that happening again, or anything more than a 50% increase. So we're gonna keep Scarlet and Violet at below $200. The other two sets we're gonna keep at that price are going to be Paradox Rift, mainly because I think this set could get reprinted. I don't think it's, like, obviously all these sets could get, in the Scarlet Violet era, could get reprinted, but it's still pretty available from a lot of shops. A lot of shops still have it. And like, again, I can see it getting reprinted where I can't see Scarlet and Violet getting reprinted. And the other one that falls into this window is going to be Stellar Crown. Honestly, one of my favorite sets from the era, but that set is widely available right now. You can definitely get it below MSRP fairly easily if you just check out any website. For the most part, it's going for close to $150 right now, so it's not that far below MSRP, but I think there's a lot of stock out there that people are sitting on and stores are sitting on that is not going to allow this to exceed that $200 mark. But aside from those three, I think everything is going to be 200 plus, which is crazy to think because only half of these sets right now are at $200 plus right now. So let's go ahead and just go from left to right, and I can give you my takes on that. So Paldea Evolved, like I said, that is a $190 set. I really do not think this is going to get reprinted. I think a lot of people are kind of coming to the party a little too late with how amazing this set is, that I'm going to actually think it's going to be $300 plus by the end of the year. I think it's going to be a very one in a couple of Scarlet and Violet era sets that will be at that $300 mark, but that's where I think it'll be. Obsidian Flames, I think, is going to be the same with Temporal Forces at that $200 mark. It is kind of surpassing that reprint window. Again, they can get reprinted, but it's starting to take this huge climb just because there's so many people that are entering the hobby and wanting to invest in these products. And so everyone's just trying to buy out these last items. I think they can get reprinted, or I think the hype will die down for these two sets, which is going to kind of have it plateau a little bit around like the 180, 190. Similar to what we're seeing right now with Twilight Masquerade, where it shot up super fast and was by far and away the highest set in the Scarlet and Violet era, and then just plateaued for 4 or 5 months straight, I think we're going to see that with Obsidian Flames. And speaking of Twilight Masquerade, I do think this is going to get a reprint. I think it's going to get close, but I think it's still going to be at that 200 plus mark, not quite hit that 300 plus mark. I think it has that amazing card with the Greninja in there that a lot of people love. But outside of that, not too many cards in there that are worthwhile, or there's going to be a lot of other booster boxes that do well, or future sets, or even just like the specialty sets that are going to continue to push Twilight Masquerade down in the top sets of the Scarlet Violet era. Surging Sparks, I'm going to put it at 300 plus. It's already getting pretty close to there. I think it's at 250 if I check my notes really quick. Yeah, 247. So if you round up to 250, this is for sure going to get a reprint. But I don't care if you reprint the same exact amount that you had before. I don't see this booster box dropping below 180, 170 per booster box. And it's going to shoot right back up. And with some sort of like market motivation to inflate these prices of these booster boxes, I think it's going to get to that $300 mark by the end of the year again. Sword and Shield base, this is already at 300 plus. I don't think it's going to climb a lot. The reason it's so high is just because it was incredibly short printed, didn't have a reprint, and so the scarcity is super low, so supply is low. I just don't think the demand is high to continue to keep it growing again and again and again, so I will keep it at that 300 plus mark. Rebel Trash or Rebel Clash, whatever you want to call it, is currently just above 200. I don't see this going any higher. I don't see Darkness Ablaze going any higher. And that's another one that's basically at, actually that's at 174, but yeah, it's going to go above 200, but nothing too crazy. And same with Vivid Voltage, honestly. And we're going to just throw Battle Styles in there. These are 4 of the worst Sword and Shield sets as far as cards to pull and performance just over the last 3, 4, 5 years. These sets have been out for a long time and are only now seeing the inflation of the market affect them. These booster boxes have been below MSRP for 4 or 5 years. And so for them to exceed $200 is probably going to happen just because of high demand. And these are for sure not getting reprinted. But I don't see them eclipsing 300 plus by the end of the year. But I could be wrong. They are Sword and Shield. I just don't think they're great Sword and Shield sets to be able to do that. And we're going to start to enter those right here. So Chilling Reign, currently at $308. We're seeing a huge boom in Sword and Shield. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, Evolving Skies is at 1,000 plus. Fusion Strike is basically at 500 plus. Chilling Reign is just above 300. I want to say it's going to stay there, but I'll make a bold prediction that Chilling Reign and Lost Origin are going to eclipse that $500 booster box mark. And just because they're 2 of the best sets of the Sword and Shield era. You have a lot of cards with the Blaziken, the Giratina that are incredibly popular, high valued cards. And you have a bunch of other cards like in Lost Origin, the Aerodactyl that's really cool, the Unknown that's really cool. In Chilling Reign, you have the Galarian Moltres, which is amazing, and just all the Galarian legendary birds. As pools, the Calyrex Rider, I might be saying that wrong, is a pretty cool card. I don't care who you are. It looks really cool. I think those are going to do really well and push this set to be 500 plus by the end of the year. Evolving Skies is the reason we have this 1,500 plus tier mark. It's at 1,000 plus. Why can't it grow another 50% by the end of the year? When I first put notes for this video 2 days ago, it was at like 20, so like $1,020. Market price is now about 1,070. So we've seen basically a $50 growth in just the 2 days of me gathering notes making this video. And yes, I do think things will die down in 2025 overall. We're not going to see 100%. Like Evolving Skies was $450, $460 at the beginning of 2024. And in a year, 2.5 times. We're not going to see that again for Evolving Skies. It's not going to be a $2,500 booster box. By the end of this year, eventually, yes, but 50% growth is super easy for the best set in the last 5, 6, 7 years. Sorry for that. Fusion Strike. This one is the hardest for me because I have this category for 1,000 plus, but I really don't see Fusion Strike getting there. In order to get there, it's going to have to more than 2x its price, which I just don't see really any booster box doing that this year. I think we're going to see, you know what, I'm going to just put it there. I'm contradicting myself with what I was just saying right now, but with being the second best of the Sword and Shield era, a lot of people love Gengar, a lot of people love Espeon, myself included. It's going to do really well, and I think it's going to get a push at the end of the year to get it just above that 1,000, similarly to what we saw with Evolving Skies at the end of 2024, where it wasn't growing, and then all of a sudden the last 2-3 months of 2024 we saw this astronomical growth in Evolving Skies and pushed it over that $1,000 mark. I'm going to say the same for Fusion Strike. Brilliant Stars, I don't think we're going to have anything, I'm just going to say this flat, anything in this 800 plus mark. As far as Brilliant Stars goes, it's a very popular set. I really don't like it personally, but I know a lot of people love the Charizard, and it is a top 5 set of the Sword and Shield era. I'll go ahead and put that at that 500 plus mark. I think it might barely get there. Actually, I'm going to just drop it to 300. I think it's going to get to 400 plus easily. I just can't see it getting to that $500 plus mark. So like I said, it's somewhere like around 250 to 300 right now. I don't think it's going to 2x its price. Astral Radiance, this is an interesting set. You see a lot of people hate it or a lot of people love it. Personally, I do like the cards in there. There's a lot of Gen 1 chases in there. But at the end of the day, like the art is just very kind of just meh to me. I do think it's going to hit that $300 plus mark. Maybe even hit 400 by the end of the year, but I don't see it hitting anywhere near 500. And to finish off the list, I'm going to have Silver Tempest be in that same boat. This set was the last Sword and Shield set to come out, and naturally one of the last ones to sell out at the Pokemon Center. It's got the Lugia. Outside of that, it has absolutely nothing, in my opinion, in that set. So I don't think it's going to climb any crazy amount. So it just sold out, and it was at 140. You could get it for a super long time. It's at 220 a box right now. I could see it going to like 300 to 400 at some point in that range by the end of the year, but not getting anywhere near that $500 mark. So there you have it. This is what I think every booster box that is out right now is going to look like by the end of the year. I don't know what sets are coming out in Scarlet and Violet era. We know there is the Journey Together. That's going to be number 9. There's Team Rocket. We don't know if it will be a booster box set or not. There's it's either Black and White or X and Y. I can't remember. I think that's for sure going to be a specialty set. But every booster box that comes out the rest of the year is going to eclipse that $200 mark, just because demand of the market is so crazy. It's going to shoot up basically instantly the minute the set comes out. But let me know if you agree with my tier list or not. I'm going to stick by this. I feel really good about it. I made that change with Fusion Strike. Outside of that, everything is kind of what I had planned to speak on. So let me know your thoughts. What is going to be the one that grows the most? I think it's going to be Evolving Skies, but we'll see at the end of the year. But until then, have a good one. I'm Rich from Rich Rugby Bets, and I'll see you on the next video.